Good morning, beautiful people. Today I have somebody that you should already know. She's been on this channel so often. The wonderful Larissa from Eating Gilmore is here looking very, very festive. She is here to teach another exciting baking thing. It feels like super Christmassy.
Yeah, so it's kind of a hodgepodge of two kind of famous dishes from the show. So we are making Rocky Road candy cane cookies, which is definitely a mouthful.
Love it.
But it combines the Rocky Road cookies that Suki makes in Love, War, and Snow, and Rory gives to Dean. And then, of
Mm.
course, the candy cane coffee from Weston's from season 7 just kind of combines them into one festive, fabulous cookie.
Ooh, I love it. And then just in case somebody is here that has not met you yet, can you give a little bit of a background about you and your wonderful project that you're doing?
Yeah, so my name is Larissa. I am behind the account Eating Gilmore. It is a project where it's weird to talk about it in the past tense now.
I know.
I cooked a dish from every episode of Gilmore Girls. I'm currently cooking through A Year in the Life, the Netflix revival, and excited to keep making fabulous dishes from our favorite TV show.
Yay! So exciting. And then you did do your announcement as well.
Yeah.
Tell us about your exciting announcement.
Yeah, and thank you for being a part of it. So I announced on my 3rd year anniversary the Eating Gilmore Encore, where I will be going back through the show, finding even more dishes, creating more recipes, because I just wasn't ready to say goodbye to it just yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so much to do. Like you've already been so creative with everything you've done. I'm really excited to see round two. So I am very excited. We also have fun, exciting things to talk about. We both have met Lauren Graham, which is wild, wild. So we will
Exciting.
chat about that. I have a couple questions about some of your faves overall from the show. Just like because now we can talk about anywhere in the show because you've done the whole show. Um, to get started, I will put the items, the ingredients, and in the description so people can follow along and bake along with us. Please tag us. I will put Larissa's Instagram here so that you can tag her, and then this will be mine so that you can tag me too because we would love to see it.
Okay, so we're gonna start. We're gonna cream together some butter and sugar. So we're gonna get half a cup of butter, unsalted.
So Lauren Graham did a book tour from her paperback release of Have I Told You This Already? And she went to a few different cities and she happened to go to two cities right around us, which is amazing because she didn't even go to Los Angeles, which is crazy to think
I
about.
know, or New York.
Oh, yeah, you're right. How'd she not do
Yeah,
that?
I don't know. I felt very blessed to have Dallas be one of the stops, which was actually really special. I don't know if you probably know this, but if anyone watching doesn't know, Lauren Graham actually went to SMU, which is in Dallas, for her master's degree. So she kind of talked about different stories of her time here, of
Fun.
different places that she used to frequent, of which still exist today. So
Cool.
that was kind of fun to hear. And then she shared one story about this. I forget the name of it, but it was some like quickie mart that she would go. And because she was poor and in grad school, would write all of these $20 checks to try to get food and stuff, but they would bounce. And so she actually ended up on the do not accept checklist at this quickie mart.
That's amazing. That's so. How long was she there for grad school?
Just a few years. I think it was like in the early 90s.
Oh,
So quite a while ago. But she said everything looks so different now. Like the roads look different, but it still
oh yeah.
kind of felt the same. She said coming back.
Oh,
So that was kind
that's
of cool to kind of hear those stories from when she lived here.
oh, I love that. Okay, so for this, I should have the like regular paddle thing on this,
Yeah,
right?
all good. Yes, I haven't poured my sugar in yet. So it's half a cup of butter, and then a third a cup of white sugar, and a third a cup of brown sugar.
Actually, hopefully, hopefully this looks right. Does that look kind of like
Yeah,
okay?
perfect.
Yay! Okay, so we have that combined. Now, what are we adding next?
Okay, so next we're gonna add in 1 egg. Add in, we can go ahead and do the peppermint extract and then mix it, and then we'll do the coffee situation.
Perfect. But my handwriting, like just on the fly, is very not great. So that's why right? I'm like, it's just, I don't know if it's doctor's handwriting or what it is. Everybody always says that joke. But that's why I like the iPad. That's where I like create all of the drawings that I do because I can be like, no, not that. Redo. But it was really funny because he started reading the question and immediately I was like, that is my question. He cannot read my handwriting. I was like, I'm sorry, my handwriting is bad. And he was like, no, dear. And I was like, okay. But what was her current obsession? And she said, which is very on topic for right now, she said holiday cookies from England and like holiday, what's going on in my hair? I'm gonna fix this. Holiday cookies from England and the holiday baking show, the like Christmas
Yeah.
bake off. I forgot what it's called.
Also, we have the same hair clip in. I just
Oh, we
noticed.
do?
Twins.
I like it. It holds pretty well. It's just my hair is
Yeah.
so long. It just is arguing with me. While I find that I would love to know now that you've gone through the show in its entirety, what is something that you feel like you learned from Suki that you hadn't known before?
Yeah. Oh, I really like that question. I would say, I guess, kind of two things. One, don't be afraid to be creative in the kitchen.
Mm,
I think some of her best dishes are when she is just being creative. She doesn't go in with like a set dish. She's just kind of flinging stuff together,
yeah.
kind of chaotically. Um, and I think that you can make gourmet dishes, but very simply. Like you don't have to have the most like high-end ingredients to make something really good and flavorful and delicious. Like you can use Walmart ingredients, Kroger ingredients, whatever is accessible to you. There are ways to really, play with flavors. Again, kind of tying into that first one, experimenting and being creative. You don't have to have really high end ingredients.
Oh, I love that. I also love that because in like the show as Stars Hollow, she's basically using like Jackson's produce and the creative aspect of that, like his what is it called? The pear, the peach and the when he combines the two.
Oh, I think it's a Razquat. Is that what you're talking
Yes,
about?
yes. I just feel like that's like so creative too. So I feel like that even like in her character is fun and like shows another aspect of like her and Jackson connecting in different ways, which you can kind of see through the show, but like to walk a mile in her apron or however you say that. I feel like that's really fun too to be like, okay, well, that really is her. And she really is creative. And you really can just kind of not mix things together because obviously she's very particular too. But yeah, I love that creative aspect of it. And I think that's something too in the kitchen that, especially with like baking, people get very nervous about. But it's also like you're going to have to bake things that don't work before you bake things that work. So I feel like,
Yeah, and I think too because like people are really are afraid to experiment, especially with baking, because it can be such a science. But I think if you can learn like a basic recipe, like a basic cookie recipe, is kind of what we're doing today, and then just adding to it, you can have a little bit more fun. You can get creative. And you know what? You're gonna mess up sometimes in the kitchen, and that's okay. You can work with burnt things sometimes.
yeah.
Um, but you just kind of try over and over and practice. Like, not to be cliche, but practice really does make perfect.
Absolutely. I was watching an interview with Gordon Ramsay and he was talking about how he really liked that he had the opportunity to go to France and learn like from French chefs. And I feel like that's something as well of like we see these high performing chefs like at the time that they're at not peak but somewhere around there and we think they've just always been able to do that but then we forget the years and years and years that they were burning bread or they were messing up on things. So I feel like I love that. Okay, how much of the peppermint extract should I be
We're
adding?
gonna do half a teaspoon.
All right, okay, we have our mixer all mixed with our egg and peppermint extract. It is smelling very Christmassy festive in here. And then we now have instant coffee and then boiling water. I hope this is okay on the counter. So how much of each are we adding?
Yes, so we have you should have 4 tablespoons of hot water, and then we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of instant coffee. So 2 tablespoons of coffee, 4 tablespoons of water.
Okay.
This is just gonna essentially kind of make a really, really strong shot of espresso to really bring that coffee flavor into the cookies.
Nice. I feel like this has cooled some. Should I
Yeah, we
add
can go ahead
more?
and pop it in or pour it in.
Nice.
Sure.
And this is going to sound dumb to say, but I'm adding the whole thing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Not dumb at all. So we are gonna mix this up as well. It's gonna be a little on the liquidy runny side, but we'll add the flour in to firm it back up.
Perfect. So everything is mixed now. And then Larissa had a great idea. I was trying to attack this with my measuring cup. These are my candy canes. Larissa suggested a rolling pin. And I'll tell you what, that worked exponentially better.
Yay. So yes, we'll be adding in crushed peppermint, crushed candy cane, whatever you're able to find towards the end. So make sure you guys have those ready to go.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay, now that that is mixed, my rolling pin there. Is now when we would add the flour or?
We'll do the cocoa powder first, and then we'll get into the flour right after that.
Perfect. And then how much cocoa powder?
We're going to do a third a cup of that.
Third a cup. Okay.
So I want to hear more about you meeting Lauren. What, like, did you say to her? Did you like cry? Because I definitely cried afterwards.
Oh my gosh. It was surreal. It was like, so we were all standing in line to eventually go in and meet her. I just put cocoa powder everywhere.
I know I had a cloud come up.
It's like a cloud. Should I add it now just to start piling? Okay, perfect. So we were all standing in line waiting to like see her. And I didn't know, I guess just the way that the venue was set up, she had to kind of like see us to get into the room and then we would go in. And it felt like, I don't know, it like gave me like the first date vibes where you're like, like exactly how it felt. I was like, okay, calm down, calm down, calm down. It was just so crazy to see her like move, which sounds stupid to say because obviously we see her move all the time, but like
in person, yeah, it's so different. And for our venue, so we kind of come in through this like lobby area and there's a staircase and she was kind of up at the top of the stairs. So you essentially could like, you would be on the staircase and I couldn't see her, but I could hear her. And I was like, you are not watching an episode. Like she is here in real life. Like, cause obviously we know her voice so well.
Yeah.
It hadn't hit me yet. I was like, no, they're because they were playing like an episode in the lobby.
Cute.
Without sound. So I was just like, okay, she's actually here. And so I'm like on the stairs and I can see her. And I'm like, that same thing, like, oh my God. And so they have like a little chair where you can like put your bag down for the pictures.
Yeah.
And then so it's like my turn, but she like turns to one of the event staff and was like, oh, we needed you at the other events. Like, you're so efficient. So I was just like awkwardly standing there, like,
really? Oh,
yeah.
Like
and then so like, fast. What?
I feel like that interaction just happened so quickly. Like, I don't know if it like really happened that fast, but in my brain, it was so quickly. Like, was it basically like you took a picture, said like a word or two, and then they were like, okay.
Yeah, you only had a couple of seconds, because like a lot of people ask, like, "Oh, did you tell her about the project?" And I kind of decided I was sort of planning to, but like in the moment, like looking into her eyes, which are gorgeous, by the way, I just wanted to like thank her because like she's been part of like all of my life, and like I turn to her when I'm going through bad things, good things. Like she's just always there. But I did not articulate that very well. Like no words were coming out, but I was like, I don't even know if these are making sense to you.
Aw, yeah. So she has. I feel like on every talk show, including at ours, they talked about it during the. I was gonna say panel, but it's kind of like the conversation between her and I don't remember what his first name is, but I know his last name is Pancake because I thought that was
Sam Pancake.
Sam.
Yeah.
This Pancake and waffles. Like, was like, how does nobody make this joke yet? But when they were on stage, they even talked about it, how like her memory, which also same, but like her memory isn't the best in certain aspects, where like her family was known for like leaving their keys in their car or they would lose their keys.
Oh my
And
gosh.
like she's made the joke on talk shows about like, they're like, do you want the monkey lamp? And she's like, yes, what's the monkey lamp? So I wore the, thank you to Instagram, because I did like a little like, hey, what should I wear? Because I like, my brain just like wasn't braining like all day. And they said the corduroy like Sherpa
The little
line.
Sherpa jacket was so cute.
Yes, and I love it, but like very quickly in my brain while we were driving there, my brain was like, what if she goes like nice jacket? And I was like, she's not gonna go nice jacket because she doesn't remember anything. And then I was like, okay, like let's think of something to say. I walk up and she's like, hi, I'm Lauren. What's your name? And I'm like, oh, I'm Joy. She's like, I like your Lorelai jacket. And my brain just like blacked out. And I'm pretty sure I said, I like jackets. I'm pretty sure like I was like thinking about it after, and I was like, did I tell her that I like jackets? I was like, so it was nice. It was like we got a good picture, which I was also happy about because I have no memory. Do you have a memory of the photo being taken? I have no memory of it.
No, well, and like it was so weird too because like I've seen some people's photos that seemed like they were like on the stage, but ours was literally kind of in this like land. It was literally on the landing of the stairs, and so like it was like had all these like really bright lights, which I'm sure she's used to as a celebrity, but like it was just like blinding, and I'm like,
Ah,
I was just scared that I blinked in the photo.
me too. Ah,
um and that was like the first thing. And then she was like, thank you for coming. And then I
yeah,
was like, I have to say something. Like, I can't just like walk away. So
yeah.
that's when I just like started like, like word vomiting.
Oh, that's so sweet though.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I just want to thank you so much for being here. And then I like walked away and I was like, I wish I had said something like,
I
thank you
like
so
jackets.
much. Yeah,
That's my
yeah,
favorite
right.
thing ever.
Right. Oh, but I think that's sweet though. Yeah, they had the whole setup of the camera, the lights like facing you, and we had like a black like drop background, which was nice, but it was just like I didn't even like see the background, and then I was like, okay, here's where we take the photo, and I also like she told a story. I don't know if she told the same one or not. She did, just stop me. But did she tell the story about how with Meryl Streep, she
Yes. And
yeah,
I know your comment, you're like, that was it, how it felt meeting her. And I thought the same
yes.
thing.
Yes, exactly. It was basically like the story, if you haven't heard it, is basically she met Meryl Streep and Meryl Streep was talking to her, and all her brain was doing was like, I'm talking to Meryl Streep, Meryl Streep's talking to me, I'm talking to Meryl Streep, Meryl Streep's talking to me. And that's all my brain was doing, like especially because when we took the photo, we like did like the like friend thing where you do
Yeah.
that.
And I'm like, she's
Like,
touching me.
yes, I was like, I'm talking to Lorelai, and I was just like, don't blink. And then it was like, okay. And then we were like walking out, and I was like, oh my gosh, what if I blinked?
I
All
know.
I know until I got the photo back. I was like, what if I blinked? I didn't like fix my hair, and I'm like, ah.
I
But
know. And then I was getting so anxious because like everyone was getting their photos back. Like you got yours what, like the next day?
so fast. I feel like it's because we were the last one. They were like, okay, like we're like, let's just get these photos out. But I
Yeah.
feel like
And ours was the week of Thanksgiving. So it was like that Monday of Thanksgiving. So I think with the holiday and everything, they kind of got behind, but we didn't get ours back until like exactly a week after.
whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, that is wild. Okay, so a third a cup, and then what's my next third a
We're
cup?
actually going to mix in this and
Oh,
then we'll do the flour kind of gradually.
okay, perfect.
Sorry, if you get us talking about Lauren Graham, we will be here all day.
Honestly, which is okay. I feel like that's the fun part. It's fun to like
Yeah.
in my mind's eye, I was always like, it would be amazing to meet her. But I was like, in what world? Like I can't like I couldn't think of
A
something.
scenario where that would happen.
Yeah. So it was crazy to be like, oh, okay, like this scenario actually did happen. And like it was so fun.
Also with Meryl Streep, did she like say that was like her very first movie when she met her? I don't know if they said that part.
Oh, I don't know if they did say that, to be
Yeah,
honest.
that's what I think. That's what Sam said. He was like, "Yeah, that was her, like Lauren Graham's like very first movie," and I'm like, "Oh, with Meryl Streep." Like, okay,
Whoa, that's crazy. I did not know that.
yeah.
Should we start adding in I don't want to keep saying flour. That's like the only thing I know that we're
But yes, we actually are moving on to flour. So
okay.
2 cups, which when I do baking, I don't have extra on hand, but because this is kind of a looser dough, we might add in more, just kind of seeing what your consistency is.
Perfect. So are we adding in kind of like a cup, half cup, and then mix it, and another half cup, and then mix it?
Yeah, I have mine kind of pre-measured out, so I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it, but just essentially a little at a time.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I think those are some of my favorite Emily moments of like when Rory gets her to try the frozen pizza and she's like, "Oh my God, this is incredible."
I know, I love that. And I just recently watched the vicious trollop moment, and I'm just like,
Oh, so good.
that's so sweet. It's nice to see Emily, not as a person, because obviously she's a person, but just maybe a little bit more on the vulnerable side, maybe is the word.
Yeah, more human.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm at about getting close to a cup and a half. What type of consistency am I looking for?
Yeah, so it should really start thicking up. So it's going to be pretty like fudgy. But yeah, so when you probably started it, it was probably a lot more liquidy. So I still have probably about like a 3/4 of a cup, but mine's really starting to firm
Oh,
up some. So I don't know if that's what yours looks like. I know you have altitude to work with, so yours might look a little different.
yeah, mine's looking a little floury. I'm gonna click like mix for like 1 second. Let me do that real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's what I need to do. I feel like my hand mixing was not up to par.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to probably do that for the last little bit because that, as Suki does say though, it's all in the wrist.
True, true. And it just snowed here, so I feel like even the like barometric pressure outside is different. So I feel like that impacts it too.
Oh, I love that you have snow and we were like 80 degrees yesterday.
I know it was not predicted, but definitely snowed, which I'm okay with in December. It's March when I'm like, I'm over this, go away.
Yeah. All right, I am going to actually pop this last little bit on my mixer just to get all that flour mixed in. Okay, so this is about what you're looking for. I should be able to kind of I pick it up and essentially just like make a ball and it should hold together pretty
That's
well.
yeah, that looks right. What should I add now?
Okay, so next we are going to do half a teaspoon of salt and a whole teaspoon of baking powder.
That's something I learned from you is I feel like I'm not good at adding the salt into things like this because I'm like, why would I add salt? So I feel like from like our what was our first one? Was that the Pop Tarts or was that the
So yeah, I think we did the pumpkin pop tarts and then we did the peach sauce and the waffles.
which is so good. I mean,
Yeah,
they're
and then even and I don't know if I said this because I know we haven't made cookies before, but if you have like a really good like flaky salt, like a kosher salt or something even bigger for serving, if you just sprinkle like a tiny bit on at the end, it just I don't know, it just balances the flavors and kind of gives you obviously like we're not using caramel, but like salted caramel just has that like perfect
oh,
balance. So
ooh. See, I thought you meant
sprinkling
right now, and I poured out my salt. Now I'm like, oh, I should have let her finish her sentence.
no, you are good.
So half a teaspoon.
Yes, half a teaspoon of salt that will go in. And then if you want, you can sprinkle some more on top at the end.
Ooh, I like that idea at the end. I've never heard of that. Okay, half a teaspoon. And then you said how much of the baking powder?
A teaspoon of that.
A teaspoon of baking powder.
No, if we're just talking about food in Christmas movies, one that I love and I've actually kind of made as a tradition for this time of year, like we usually do it either Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, is Christmas fettuccine from The Holiday.
I love that. So cute. Like, do
Yeah.
you change anything particularly? Like, do you, or is it like a
It's
classic?
literally just to play a make homemade Alfredo fettuccine Alfredo because so they actually kind of both sides have it. It's I think Christmas Eve or Christmas when Jack Black's and Kate Winslet's characters are together and he like just found out about his girlfriend cheating on him. So he's like, I'll make you Christmas fettuccine. And then it cuts to Cameron Diaz and she also has a plate of it.
I somehow never realized they both ate that. That's so cute. Wait, do you make the fettuccine?
Yeah. Oh, not
Whoa.
the pasta. I've made pasta before, but usually by this time of the year, store bought is the way to go.
Yeah, that's a lot of baking to be had this time of year too.
Yeah.
Okay, that is mixed together. What should I add in next?
Yeah, so we're actually at the fun part where we're going to do all of our little mix-ins. So we should have a third cup of, there's my oven.
You're good.
So we should have a third a cup of white chocolate chips, a third a cup of crushed peppermint, and we'll save just like a little bit to sprinkle on top at the end. And then a third a cup of chopped nuts. You can use almonds, pecans, walnuts. I think both of us have pecans today. Yay.
That is, I feel like I've asked this question before, but I don't remember the answer. For your, if you do the sweet potato casserole for Thanksgiving, what do you put on top?
I would do pecans, like a nut topping. I can't do marshmallows and sweet potatoes. Like I've never really understood that.
It's like a
So
huge favorite though. When I did the poll on Instagram, I'm gonna bang this while I say this. Um, when I did the poll on Instagram about it, most people were marshmallows, which is crazy because I had never heard of that. Like, I mean, I've heard of it now, but as a kid, it was always pecans and like brown sugar type of a topping.
yeah,
I was wondering if that's like more of a
it's
location.
yeah, maybe it's more of like a northeast northern thing.
Yeah.
I do know because like there's that one of the Thanksgiving episodes of Friends when Monica's like, you need to put those in a concentric circle, and she like sticks it up her nose or something.
Oh, okay. My brain is trying to remember. So should I add them in like one at a time and mix them, or should I add them all
I'm
in?
kind of all in, all together, and then just fold and kind of work our arm muscles a bit.
And the white chocolate. Why white chocolate versus, is it just because there's so much chocolate already in it, which is
Yeah,
why?
and when I originally put this recipe, I did say that you could use milk chocolate, semi chocolate, kind of whatever you prefer. Because I know some people really don't like white chocolate, but I think it just looks better with the white chocolate in contrast with the like dark chocolate of the cookie.
So what is, now that we're on Christmas movies, what is your favorite Christmas movie?
Well, I know I just mentioned it, but definitely The Holiday. That is a movie I can watch year round. Like it does not have to be Christmas time for
Yeah.
me. I can watch that. It's probably in my like top 5 favorite movies in general.
Ooh, yeah, that's a classic. It's also, I feel like I didn't know this until this year, so I will share this for in case somebody doesn't know this. Nancy Meyers that did that also did The Parent Trap.
Yes,
It's
which
just
is
on my brain.
weirdly, I know this is kind of like an odd movie, but that Parent Trap is like my favorite movie ever. It's so
No, I love
good.
it. It's so good. And also she did Father of the Bride, which is one of my favorites too. And I didn't know that either. I don't know if she does the second one, but
Yeah, she and I know you have the sweatshirt for the holiday with the cottage, which is like my dream home.
honestly, I just really want to live in Nancy Meyers. I'll post it. Probably by the time this is up, it'll be posted, but I got a new like coffee buffet table thing.
Ooh,
And I feel like it looks like Nancy Meyers, and I'm very proud of myself.
perfect.
Because what would Nancy Meyers buy is probably a thing I need to ask myself more than I am. I've gotten better at it though, but I feel like it just
Oh, we were talking a little bit before we started filming that I have a Gilmore Girls Christmas playlist, and I bring that up because I recently found a Gilmore Girls Parent Trap playlist on Spotify, and it is perfection because there's actually a lot of not a lot, but there's a couple songs in both, like There She Goes,
yeah.
and in the revival, the Top of the World plays when Kirk is driving Lorelai, and that also plays when they get to camp in Parent Trap. So
Right.
there's a lot of connections there, which is
So
probably why I like both so much.
I know, right? I feel like things like that just kind of feel like home. That's something that I feel like over the past, I don't know, little bit, I've started to zone in more and more about maybe like the purpose of a vintage joy overall, the embroidery brand that I also
Yeah.
have. And I feel like one of the things I saw a comment on and I really love, and I think it might be kind of like part of that cornerstone for me, is like a breath of fresh air. Where it's,
Yeah, I definitely get that with like everything you make.
yeah, I just like that it feels like homey, nostalgic, a breath of fresh air, like I don't know, like our little corner of the world style of things.
Perfect.
So I love it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like it just feels very much like cozy, like feeling at home, like, but also like our favorite homes, if that makes sense. Like our own home, but like
Yeah.
Stars Hollow, or like I have your Genovia sweatshirt. Like Genovia kind of feels like cozy castle vibes, you know?
Yeah. Should I be flattening these or should they be balls?
Yeah, I'm kind of doing like a little sort of like flat
Oh,
disc round
I'll push
shape.
them a little bit.
Yeah, but I definitely am running out of room on my baking sheet pretty quickly.
Yeah, I realize that now I look down, I'm like haphazardly placing them. I'm like, I could probably place these better. If you could live in a movie, would it be like a Nancy Meyers movie, or is there like another one that I can't think of right now that maybe is like a town or something like other than Stars Hollow, because obviously that's like always
Right.
there.
Yeah, I think I would probably have to pick a Nancy Meyers movie, and it honestly probably would be The Parent Trap, but I would have a hard time picking because I we talked a lot about London the last time we
Yeah.
filmed together, but I would have a hard time picking like Elizabeth's little London apartment or the Napa Winery because both look amazing. But then
On.
also, of course, the cottage and the holiday, like those, they're like my big three of Nancy Meyers houses.
I don't remember. I just haven't watched it in like more recently. But another one of hers that is iconic is the Something Gotta Give, like kitchen house area.
Yeah, I've been seeing that kind of trending online lately of another one
Yeah,
of the good
I need
ones.
to watch that again because that's just not in my memory of Nancy Meyers. Plus, also Hans Zimmer did The Holiday as the score, and he is like top tier.
So good. Yeah. We're gonna do these for 10 minutes for the first round, and then we'll add in the marshmallows and then do it for a couple extra minutes after that.
Oh yes, okay. Those are the things I'm excited.
Yeah. So I guess I'm always just like curious about other people's like creative process. So like how early do you have to start? Because obviously, like I know with Christmas, like you had to kind of launch that late October, early November, just so people would have enough time to have those items by Christmas.
Yeah, for fall, I'm starting in July.
Wow.
Yeah. So in order to get everything like created, thought of, made, photographed, there's a lot of steps that go into it. Um, that I'm starting in July, and then as soon as that launches, my brain switches to Christmas.
Yeah.
That launched this year. I want to say it was early to mid August, maybe mid August. Um, so I was in Christmas mode by August
Yeah.
when it comes to the drawing side of it. Um, so it's kind of funny because it's like I've done better at it this year, but trying to like keep the seasons where they are in real time, it was tricky for me because my brain, I'm like,
That
you know what I mean? I'm like,
yeah, you're always having to think ahead.
yeah,
I have that sometimes with the because I cook the show in chronological order, and
yeah.
so I would be making a dish like a Christmas dish. Like I was talking before we filmed when I
Yeah.
did the Candy Cane coffee in July. So I had to buy like round peppermints because the candy canes weren't in the store.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I'm very excited about with the encore is that because I'm not going in order, I can finally cook through by season for some of the dishes.
Oh,
So
that's so fun.
yeah, I'm gonna kind of do it. I'm gonna start the encore on my birthday at the end of March because I'll be finishing up a year in the life kind of mid March, and then go through June 3rd of the next year.
Oh, June 3rd. That's so cute. You're way farther ahead than I am. I feel like with the creative process, like you were saying, is so different for everybody. And if I'm like not inspired to draw, it just like will not come to me. That's one of the things that like even going back to talking about the different playlists, I really have to click into like playlist mode and like watch the like season things I'm trying to create. So I feel like, yeah, that it's probably going to be feel different to create it in the season too, which will be nice.
Yeah, for sure.
But for the encore, I don't know if you've actually said that you weren't going in chronological order. Are you going by your favorites or
Kind of just what I'm feeling in the moment. And I think that's going to hopefully unlock a little bit more like creativity and motivation because like while doing the show in chronological order, like kept me focused. Like I knew what I had to do. If I was like hung up on a particular episode or a dish, like I had to figure it out and I had to get it done. But with
yeah.
this, if I'm struggling with something, I'm like, okay, I can just switch gears and do something else that I want to do rather than feel stuck on that particular episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like they'll go to the diner, they'll have like all the different chefs come in to the Dragonfly, but a lot of times they just say, "Oh, the dinner" or the
Yeah.
breakfast. Like they never say what the food. Like I feel like that was something with the show and kind of what kind of started the ball rolling with this whole project years ago was that they like talk about unique food and unique dish in like every episode. Like I was able to create something different for each episode. And then the revival, like they'll call back to some of the past dishes like Pop Tarts and everything. Oh, that is my timer.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if yours has gone off yet.
I didn't set one, so I'm glad that you did. I just
Perfect. So when you do add the marshmallows, so we've got about a third a cup of mini marshmallows. So you can do about 2 or 3 per cookie. And if you just kind of press it in there, it should kind of sink in and fit pretty nicely.
And we're putting them back in for how long?
Like 1 to 2 minutes, just so they can start melting just a little bit into the cookies. After you take them out of the oven, I'm save just a little bit of the peppermint, what did we call it? Dust powder.
Yeah.
To sprinkle on top just to kind of add that little photo finish to them.
Cute.
Perfect. And then I know we talked about this earlier, but I just sprinkled on a tiny bit of flaky salt at the end just because that really helps balance out some of that sweetness since there are a lot of things going on with these cookies.
They look so fun and festive, though. I love it.
Okay, let me scoop one up.
I'm excited.
Yay! So you have yours ready to go?
Yes.
Okay. I think we talk about this every time of like just how awkward it is, like eating on camera.
I know.
You hopefully get a little bit of like a little marshmallow pull from it being melty.
Cheers.
Mm.
Wow, that is really good. I know I say that like every time as if it's going to be a surprise, like obviously it's going to be good. But I think it's because like I made it, my brain goes like, oh.
It's very chewy, but yeah, it's got like a good like cakey consistency.
Yeah.
So like, you really have to get kind of like a thick dough to be able to hold all of the different mix-ins.
Absolutely. And I feel like the amount of peppermint and like if instead of a third it was more of each of them, I feel like that could be overwhelming. But I feel like a third is like the perfect amount of the 3 add-ons.
Yeah, and like I try to because like I said with the instance of the coffee and overwhelming, just kind of like a subtlety with the peppermint extract, so it's there, but it's not overpowering because you also get that peppermint flavor with the candy mixed in too.
What do you think the ratio that is like peppermint that I'm tasting? Is that probably the extract minus like if I do a crunch of something?
Yeah, so the crunch obviously would be the candy canes, but I think the flavor is kind of a combination of both. Like the probably like the forefront is the crush, especially if you sprinkle. If you sprinkled a little bit more of that peppermint dust on top to kind of really like bring that aroma out. And then it just kind of like layers with the extract in the dough as well.
Yeah, that is really, really good. Well, definitely. I will sing your praises at the party today.
Yay!
So good. Well, thank you so much for doing this a third time. I'm so grateful for you as a person and for your page and just for teaching me so many things about baking. I'm always a
Yeah.
fan.
I
Can't wait
always
to.
love doing things with you because sometimes like I feel like I bake into the void almost like obviously I share them online, but it's always after the fact. And so it's fun to kind of get to do it with someone, even though we're doing it over Zoom. But it just, I don't know, like baking with another person is like just a fun sense of community. So I always enjoy when we do these together.
Well, if you are not following Larissa yet, please go do that. And I will see you on the next time we bake, slash online, slash right after we finish filming this. So,
Perfect.
happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy holidays, happy New Year. Bye.